Hey there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you very much for joining me today. We're card making again. We're using one of the retiring sets though. We're using Delicate Petals and the coordinating dies, which I can never remember the name of. Lacy Petals. So you've seen me use Lacy Petals a lot to make the lovely flowers, but I seem to recall that last time I pulled it out I said, ironically, the only image I haven't used is this floral here, just for colouring and everything. So I thought I would use it today when I was deciding how I was going to decorate this card. So that's that. Please don't forget that these are retiring at the end of the month. Last time I looked, these were definitely still available. So really worthwhile checking those out. Really nice set. And then I wanted to show you this beautiful new metallic paper as well. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do today. So what I should have done was just grab the packet, which is stuck to something else. So this is the gold and rose gold, that's a bit of a mouthful, rose and rose gold, 6x6 metallic speciality paper. So as the name suggests, you get gold and rose gold sheets. How many do we get? We get 8 sheets, so that's 4 of each then, isn't it? Quick maths, even my maths is good enough to work that one out. But it has like this sort of brushed look to it. It's a really fab texture it's got. So it's not overly shiny, but obviously gives you that metallic look. Really super duper stuff. So easily missed in the catalogue though, so it's just at the back with all the other speciality papers. So have a quick look for that. Really nice thing to have in your stash for a bit of something special. And what I've done is I've run it through another new product, which is the Stitched Greenery die. So this is the Stitched Greenery. Sorry about the flaring on the plastic. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. So it doesn't cut anything, but it embosses. So it's more of an embossing plate than a die, so I guess. So that is like super phenomenal. So I've seen a few people use it. It looks great on regular cardstock, but look at that detail that you get in there. It's just really cute. And on the gold one, I think it looks even better. It just adds some. Does it come up? Yeah, there we go. So it's kind of a little bit of a wow factor on your card, because it's sort of there but not there. You've got to kind of look at it more carefully to see what's going on. So that's using that embossing die, but I also thought it would look really good run through an embossing folder. So here it is, embossed. Now I hope that looks as good as it does in real life, because it really does look fab. And that's actually the deboss side. I did make a bit of a mistake with the positioning of the paper inside the embossing folder. This is the die. I think it's called Pretty Petals. Could be wrong. But you'll see it in the back with all the other embossing folders. It's one of the regular embossing folders. It's not a 3D one. But the emboss side would be with the Stampin Up logo on the front, and I must have, in my hurry to check it and try it, I must have put it in the other way around. So this is actually debossed. Now if I just bring in this piece, this is the gold version, which has been embossed, and I actually went over it with some black ink just to see whether I could get some colour onto it, but I've only got Memento ink and I haven't got any stays on, and I sort of brushed it, so it's added this sort of antique-y look to it, so it's not bright like that one is anymore. Okay, but I don't know, it just wasn't comfortable. It just doesn't, basically it doesn't dry on there. It'll still come off, so I've abandoned that idea in terms of using my Memento ink, but if you've got stays on, that would probably work quite well. So there you go. that is what we're doing. So I haven't, I'm not going to emboss another piece. I think it's kind of self-explanatory that I've just cut that down. That's actually 3 inches wide, so it's half a sheet. And I've run that through the cut emboss machine. Apparently it doesn't matter which way around because it looks fab either way. Using the instructions on the machine to do so. So you would just take out your thin die adapter platform number 2 and just use your cutting plates if you wanted to do that. But all the instructions are on your machine, and if you're not using a Stampin' Cut and Emboss, then you should be using Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Links in the description. But if you've got your another die cut machine that you use, just use the instructions for that. So we're going to mix up the layout a little bit, and I'm going to use the full strip there, just cut it down to size, and I'm layering it with some basic grey. Okay, so I'm going to keep them flush at the top and bottom, just have that basic grey coming out the side. Okay, so we'll get that all stuck down. I am going to use my Seal Plus because this is a non-absorbent material. I want to make sure that that's going to be nice and stuck down. This tape is super strong, so if it pulls your paper, don't worry, that's just sort of normal. You know me, I'm a tape runner kind of person. Liquid glue would be, of course, very good for sticking down this. No problem, and of course you'd get the wriggle room as well. So I'm putting it flush at the edge and just eyeballing that top and bottom border to get them even, or even enough anyway. Give that a good press down, and then turn that over and run my what's this called, bone folder over the top. Okay, and then that's that panel nice and mounted. I think it sort of does have an orientation. It probably doesn't matter a whole ton, but that's fine. And then we can go back to our regular adhesive for the attaching that to the card base. Just going to lay that flat, get it kind of even in the middle. Smidge of a border top and bottom. And just press that down. So there we go. Card base, nice. And done. There we go. Doesn't that look super duper? Okay. I should say that's petal pink. Okay. I think it looked better. I tried it with Blushing Bride. That's Blushing Bride, and it's just not the right hue. So I went with petal pink. I think it would look good with vanilla as well, actually. I think it would look good. There you go. So that's that. Right, we need to do a bit of stamping and colouring so that we can get this die cut. So just bring it in a scrap of cardstock. I'm actually going to stamp it in the basic grey to do my colouring. So as long as you've got a water-based ink, that's going to work just fine with your stamping blends. So some light tapping on there, and we'll get those stamped. And we're just going to do some real simple colouring with the blends. We're not doing anything super complicated. Okay, so those stamp really beautifully, those photopolymer stamps. And I've just got a little scrap here for the sentiment, which I have mounted on the other side, which I'm going to stamp there. And I'm going to hope that I can cut that with the punch that I want, and if I'm not going to be able to do that, I'm going to stamp it again over here, so that I've got a spare, basically. So let's just put that down there. So we've got it. There we go. So any water-based ink, so any of the classic inks are suitable for you to use with your stamping blends. Okay, so we're going to bring in the petal pink markers. So you've seen me do this before. I tend to put a bit of a colour down, like in a really technical manner, by scribbling over the image. It just gets the paper wet and helps with the overall process at the end. Nothing major. And then we're going to use our dark marker just to add in some bits and pieces here and there where the lines kind of tell us the shadows would be. So it's roasting hot in my room at the moment, so we're just going to add those in like so. Stuff in the middle, so not being any like overly precious about how I'm doing this at all. And then we're just going to go over the whole lot again with the light marker, and I'm not going to be too bothered if a few lines show. I think that'll be absolutely fine. Okay, and we just need to repeat that with the other one. Just putting those lines in. Really, really quick. Not going to be no artistry or anything like that. So anybody can do that, right? Nothing complicated about that at all. And again, we'll just go over the whole lot again with the light marker. Blend out some of the lines. But like I say, if there's a few still visible, that's not going to matter, and it doesn't even matter if there's a bit of white showing either. So there we go. So that's our little flowers coloured, and we've got a really beautiful, convenient die that we can use to cut that out. So we'll just run that through the embossing machine. So we just put that through with the two cutting plates, because doesn't take long just to get that run through. Okay, we'll reposition the die and do this one. So normally I would do one of these ahead of time, but I figured it's a nice, quick and simple card, relatively really. So I thought you could see the whole process. So there we go. Two of those die cut like so. And we're going to use the postage, rectangular postage stamp, punch even, to cut out our sentiment just a hint to the left so that it tucks in to our petals. Great little punch that is. So there we are then. What have we got? I think we need some dimensionals on the back of that. is what I think. And we'll have one of the sets of flowers on, so this is on dimensionals as well. So I have things on different levels. It just gives everything just that touch of extra, you know, luxury sort of thing. I haven't put a dimensional on the back of there so I can tuck things in and behind it. I like sentiments to break borders, and I think it just helps to draw your eye in, so I'm putting that in first, mainly so that I can then get these positioned where I want them to be. They kind of do have an orientation to them, so just want to make sure that I am getting these where I want them, really. So they can kind of hug that sentiment a little bit. There we are. That looks okay. And if we don't press that down straight away, we'll have a bit of wriggle room on there as well, just to make sure that that positioning is exactly how we want it to be. A nice little cascade of flowers down the side of the card. So I still want this nice paper to show, okay, but you still get the detail of the I think on my original I had the sentiment tucked in behind there. Oh yeah, okay, voila, even better. Cool, that's it then, leave it at that. I think the black outline on this one, I used the Memento Tuxedo Black for this one. It does have more impact than the grey. I just wanted to try out, see whether it sort of toned in a little bit better. It probably tones in too much, if you know what I mean. It just lost a bit of the impact on there. Likewise, I don't know whether if we'd have matted in black, maybe that would have tied that together better, if you know what I mean, and giving it a bit more oomph. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Love to know what you think. As always, the materials I've used today are going to be in the description below. Please do check those out, and in the meantime, please do stay safe. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.